Hello, my dear ones. I want you to take a deep breath with me right now. Just breathe in slowly, and as you breathe out, let your shoulders drop and allow yourself to settle into this moment. You are exactly where you need to be right now, and I am so grateful that our paths have crossed in this beautiful way. I know that you're here because something deep within your heart is calling for more. Perhaps you've been feeling like life has been challenging lately, or maybe you sense that there's something wonderful waiting for you, but you're not quite sure how to open the door to receive it. Whatever has brought you to this moment, I want you to know that it's no accident. Nothing in this universe happens by chance, and your being here right now is part of a beautiful unfolding that's already begun. You see, miracles aren't just those big dramatic events that we read about in books or see in movies. Miracles are happening all around us every single day. The fact that your heart is beating without you having to think about it, that's a miracle. The way the sun rises each morning and the flowers know exactly when to bloom, these are miracles too. And right now, in this very moment, there are miracles that are preparing to enter your life. Your job isn't to make them happen or to figure out exactly how they'll arrive. Your job is simply to become ready to receive them. I often think about how we come into this world as perfect little beings, completely open and trusting. As babies, we naturally expected to be fed when we were hungry, held when we needed comfort, and loved simply because we existed. We didn't question whether we deserved these things. We didn't worry about whether we were good enough or whether we'd done enough to earn love and care. We simply knew, deep in our hearts, that we were worthy of receiving all the good that life had to offer. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned to close our hearts just a little bit. Life presented us with experiences that made us think we needed to protect ourselves or prove our worthiness. Perhaps someone told us we were asking for too much, or that good things don't happen to people like us. Maybe we learned to believe that we had to struggle and work incredibly hard for everything we received, or that expecting good things was somehow selfish or unrealistic. But today, right now, we're going to begin to remember the truth about who you really are. You are a magnificent being who came into this world to experience joy, love, abundance, and yes, miracles. These aren't things you have to earn or prove you deserve. They are your birthright, as natural as breathing. The universe didn't create you to struggle endlessly or to live a life of limitation. You were created to thrive, to grow, to give and receive love freely, and to experience the fullness of life in all its beautiful forms. I want to share something with you that I've learned over many years of watching people transform their lives. The moment we truly open our hearts to receiving, everything begins to shift. It's like we've been standing in a beautiful garden, but we've had our backs turned to all the flowers. When we turn around and really see what's been there all along, suddenly our whole world changes. The flowers were always there, the beauty was always present, but we couldn't see it because we weren't looking in the right direction. Your heart knows how to receive. It's never forgotten, even if your mind has been telling you stories about why you can't have what you want or why life has to be difficult. Your heart is like a flower that naturally opens to receive the morning sun. It doesn't question whether it deserves the light. It simply opens naturally and beautifully and allows itself to be nourished. Right now, as you're listening to these words, I want you to place your hand gently on your heart. Feel that steady, rhythmic beating. This beautiful heart of yours has been with you through everything. It has loved you through every joy and every sorrow. It has never given up on you, not for a single moment. And this same heart that has carried you this far is ready to open even wider now, ready to receive all the miracles that are flowing toward you. You don't have to be perfect to receive miracles. You don't have to have your life completely figured out or have solved all your problems. Miracles come to us not because we've earned them through perfection, but because love is the very nature of the universe. And you, my dear one, are love itself, walking around in human form. Every cell in your body, every breath you take, every thought you think has the potential to be infused with this miraculous love. The beautiful thing about this moment we're sharing together is that simply by being here, simply by opening your heart to these possibilities, you've already begun the process of receiving. You've said yes to something greater. You've acknowledged that part of you that knows there's more available to you than what you've been experiencing. That takes courage, and it takes love for yourself. And both of these qualities are already opening doors in your life that you may not even be aware of yet. Now let's gently explore what might be standing between you and the full experience of receiving all the good that's available to you. And please, as we do this, be incredibly gentle with yourself. We're not looking for things to criticize or judge. We're simply becoming aware with love and compassion of any patterns that might no longer be serving you. Many of us carry within our hearts and minds certain beliefs that we learned early in life about receiving. These beliefs often came from people who loved us very much, but who were themselves carrying the same limiting patterns that had been passed down through generations. When we were children, we absorbed so many messages about what was possible for us, what we deserved, and how life worked. Perhaps you learned that you had to be very, very good to receive anything nice. Maybe you got the message that asking for what you wanted was selfish, or that other people's needs always came first. Some of us learned that struggle was noble, that we had to work incredibly hard for everything, or that expecting good things to come easily was somehow wrong or lazy. Others learned that there wasn't enough to go around, so taking something good meant someone else would have to do without. These beliefs, even though they came from love and a desire to help us navigate the world, can sometimes become like invisible walls around our hearts. They don't protect us the way they were meant to. Instead, they can keep out the very experiences we're longing to have. It's as if we're living in a beautiful house, but we've boarded up all the windows, and then we wonder why it feels so dark inside. One of the most common barriers to receiving is the deep feeling that we're not worthy of good things. This unworthiness isn't who we really are. It's just a story we learned somewhere along the way. But stories can be changed, and hearts can be opened, and what once felt impossible can become the most natural thing in the world. Sometimes our difficulty with receiving comes from experiences where we were hurt when we were open and vulnerable. Perhaps we trusted someone and they let us down, or we hoped for something beautiful and it didn't happen the way we expected. When this happens, it's so natural for our hearts to close a little bit, to put up protective walls so we won't be disappointed again. But these same walls that we built to keep out pain also keep out joy, love, and all the miraculous possibilities that are always flowing toward us. There's also something that happens when we've been taking care of everyone else for so long that we forget how to let others take care of us. If you're someone who's always been the strong one, the helper, the one everyone comes to with their problems, it can feel very strange and even uncomfortable to allow yourself to be on the receiving end. Your value and identity might feel so tied up in giving that receiving feels foreign or even selfish. Another pattern that many people carry is the belief that if something good happens, something bad must be coming next. This kind of thinking keeps us always waiting for the other shoe to drop instead of fully enjoying and receiving the blessings that are present right now. It's as if we're afraid that the universe is keeping score, and if too many good things happen, we'll somehow have to pay for it later. Some of us learn to be so independent that accepting help or gifts or even compliments feels uncomfortable. We might have learned that depending on others was weak, or that we should always be able to handle everything ourselves. While independence can be a beautiful quality, when it becomes so rigid that we can't let love and support flow toward us, it can block the natural give and take that makes life so rich and fulfilling. Fear can also create barriers to receiving. Fear that we don't know how to handle abundance if it comes. Fear that others will judge us or treat us differently if our lives improve. Fear that we'll lose what we receive, so it's safer not to have it in the first place. Fear that we'll discover we really don't deserve good things after all. These fears are so understandable, and they're also not the truth about who you are or what you deserve. Sometimes the barrier is simply that we've become so used to struggle that ease feels unnatural. If you've been pushing and striving and working incredibly hard for everything in your life, the idea that good things could come easily might feel impossible or even wrong. But ease and flow are actually the natural way of the universe. Look at how effortlessly flowers bloom and birds fly. The struggle isn't what makes us worthy. It's often what keeps us stuck. Now let's begin to shift our whole way of looking at life from a place of survival to a place of thriving. This shift is like stepping out of a small, cramped room into a vast, beautiful landscape where anything is possible. When we're in survival mode, all our energy goes toward just getting through each day, protecting ourselves from what might go wrong, and trying to maintain what little we have. But when we shift into thriving mode, we open up to the infinite possibilities that are always available to us. Survival thinking says there's not enough to go around. It says we have to compete with others for love, success, happiness, and abundance. It tells us that if someone else gets something good, there's less available for us. But this kind of thinking goes against everything we can observe in the natural world. The universe is endlessly creative and abundant. New stars are being born every moment. New flowers bloom every spring. New ideas, new opportunities, new ways of experiencing joy are being created constantly. When we're stuck in survival mode, we tend to focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what might go wrong in the future. Our minds become like radar systems, constantly scanning for problems and threats. While this might have kept our ancestors safe in dangerous times, it's not serving us well in our daily lives now. When all our attention is focused on lack and limitation, we literally can't see the abundance and opportunities that are all around us. Thriving thinking recognizes that we live in an abundant universe where there's more than enough for everyone. It knows that when others succeed and thrive, it doesn't take anything away from our own possibilities. In fact, when we celebrate others' success and happiness, we align ourselves with the same energy that created those good things, and we naturally attract more of the same into our own lives. The shift from survival to thriving often begins with changing the questions we ask ourselves. Instead of, "How can I protect myself from being hurt?" we might ask, "How can I open my heart even more to love?" Instead of, "What if this doesn't work out?" we might ask, "What if something even better than I can imagine is possible?" Instead of, "Why don't good things happen to me?" we might ask, "What good things are trying to reach me right now?" When we're in thriving mode, we start to notice that the universe is constantly communicating with us through what some people call coincidences or synchronicities. We meet exactly the right person at exactly the right time. We hear a song on the radio that gives us the perfect message for what we're going through. We find opportunities opening up just when we need them. These aren't accidents. They're the natural result of being aligned with the flow of abundance that's always moving through our lives. Thriving thinking also recognizes that our thoughts and feelings are incredibly powerful creative forces. When we're focused on appreciation, gratitude, love, and possibility, we naturally attract more experiences that match those feelings. When we're focused on fear, lack, resentment, and limitation, we tend to create more of those experiences. This isn't about judging ourselves when we have negative thoughts. It's about gently becoming aware of where our attention is going and choosing to redirect it toward what we want to create. One of the most beautiful aspects of shifting into thriving mode is that we begin to trust in perfect timing. Instead of frantically trying to make things happen according to our timeline, we start to understand that there's a divine timing to everything. We learn to plant seeds of intention and then trust that they'll bloom when the conditions are exactly right. This doesn't mean we become passive or stop taking action. It means we take inspired action from a place of trust rather than desperate action from a place of fear. When we're thriving, we also begin to see challenges differently. Instead of seeing problems as evidence that life is working against us, we start to see them as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones to something better, or as ways the universe is redirecting us towards something more aligned with our highest good. This shift in perspective changes everything about how we experience life. The thriving mindset also helps us understand that we don't have to figure everything out before we can receive good things. So often, we wait to be happy until we solve all our problems, or we wait to feel worthy until we accomplish certain goals. But abundance and miracles flow most easily to those who are already feeling good about themselves and their lives right now, even in the midst of challenges. Now that we're beginning to shift our perspective, it's time to prepare our inner landscape to receive all the miracles that are already flowing toward us. Think of your inner world like a beautiful garden. When a garden is overgrown with weeds, cluttered with old debris, or choked with thorny vines, even the most beautiful flowers can't take root and bloom. But when we clear away what no longer serves us, when we tend to our inner garden with love and care, we create the perfect conditions for miracles to grow. Preparing your inner garden begins with the gentle process of clearing away old emotional debris that might be taking up space in your heart. We all carry within us memories, hurts, disappointments, and resentments from the past. These aren't bad or wrong to have. They're part of being human. But when we hold on to them tightly, they can become like heavy stones in our hearts, leaving little room for new joy and love to enter. One of the most powerful ways to clear this space is through the beautiful practice of forgiveness. Now, I want to be very clear about what forgiveness really means, because so many people have misunderstandings about this. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened to you was okay. It doesn't mean you have to forget what happened or put yourself back in harmful situations. It doesn't mean you're weak or that you're excusing someone's behavior. Forgiveness is actually the most loving gift you can give yourself. It's releasing the grip that old hurts have on your heart so that you can be free to receive all the love and joy that's wanting to flow into your life right now. When we hold on to resentment and anger, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. We're the ones who suffer. We're the ones whose hearts become closed and whose lives become limited. The person who hurt you has probably moved on with their life. They might not even remember what happened or realize how it affected you, but if you're still carrying that hurt like a heavy backpack everywhere you go, you're the one who's being weighed down. You're the one who's missing out on the lightness and freedom that comes when we release what we can't change anyway. Forgiveness is also about forgiving yourself for any choices you've made that you wish you could change. So many people carry guilt and shame about their past decisions, about things they said or did or didn't do. But every choice you made was the best choice you knew how to make at the time, given what you understood about life and yourself back then. You're not the same person you were even a year ago. You've grown and learned and expanded. Give yourself the same compassion you would give a dear friend who was struggling. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. We can be so much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on anyone else. We replay our mistakes over and over, criticizing ourselves for not being perfect or not knowing better. But this kind of self-attack doesn't help us grow or change. It just keeps us stuck in old patterns and closed off from receiving the love and opportunities that could help us create something beautiful. Another important part of clearing your inner garden is releasing fears that have been holding you back. Fear is a natural human emotion, and sometimes it serves to protect us from real danger. But many of the fears we carry aren't protecting us from anything real. They're old fears that we learned from others or developed from past experiences that may no longer be relevant to our current situation. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of not being good enough, fear of being too much, fear of change, fear of staying the same. These fears can become like invisible fences around our lives, keeping us in small, familiar spaces when there's a whole world of possibility available to us. When we gently acknowledge these fears without judging them, and then choose to take small steps forward anyway, we discover that most of what we were afraid of wasn't real or wasn't as scary as we thought. You can begin this clearing process right now in a very simple way. Take a moment to think about anything you've been holding on to that feels heavy in your heart. It might be anger towards someone who hurt you, disappointment about something that didn't work out the way you wanted, guilt about a choice you made, or fear about something that might happen in the future. Just let whatever comes up be there without trying to change it or fix it. Now place both hands on your heart and say these words, either out loud or silently. I am ready to release what no longer serves me. I am ready to forgive myself and others. I am ready to make space in my heart for miracles. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to know how this will happen. Just set the intention and trust that your heart knows how to heal and how to open. As you clear this space, you'll begin to notice that your energy feels lighter. You might find yourself smiling more easily or feeling more optimistic about the future. You might discover that people respond to you differently or that opportunities start appearing that you hadn't noticed before. This isn't coincidence. This is what happens when we create space in our lives for good things to enter. The clearing process isn't something you do once and then it's finished. It's an ongoing practice of tending to your inner garden with love and awareness. Just as you wouldn't expect a physical garden to stay beautiful without regular care, your inner garden benefits from regular attention. But this doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Even a few minutes each day of consciously releasing what doesn't serve you and choosing thoughts and feelings that align with what you want to create can make an enormous difference. Now that we're creating this beautiful, clear space in our hearts, let's explore how to align ourselves with the miraculous energy that's always flowing through the universe. Everything in existence is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, even your physical body are all forms of energy. And like a radio that needs to be tuned to the right frequency to receive a clear signal, you can tune your personal energy to align with the frequency of miracles, abundance, love, and joy. When you're aligned with miraculous energy, life begins to flow more easily. The right people show up at the right time. Opportunities appear that you couldn't have planned or forced. Solutions to problems arise in unexpected ways. You find yourself in the right place at the right time more often. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is what happens when your energy is vibrating in harmony with the abundant, loving nature of the universe. One of the most powerful ways to align with miraculous energy is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just about being polite or counting your blessings, though those things are lovely too. Gratitude is actually a high vibration emotion that literally changes your energy field and attracts more experiences that match that feeling of appreciation and abundance. When you focus on what you're grateful for, Even if it's something very simple like the warmth of sunlight on your face or the fact that you have clean water to drink, you're sending a signal to the universe that says, I recognize and appreciate abundance when I see it. The universe, which loves to give us more of whatever we're focusing on, responds by bringing you more things to feel grateful for. The beautiful thing about gratitude is that it can transform your experience of life immediately, regardless of your external circumstances. Even in the midst of challenges, there are always things to appreciate if you look for them. Your ability to breathe, the people who love you, a comfortable place to sleep, food to eat, your capacity to learn and grow, the beauty of nature around you. When you actively look for things to appreciate, you'll be amazed at how much abundance is already present in your life. Gratitude also helps you align with miraculous energy because it brings you fully into the present moment. Miracles happen in the now, not in our worries about the future or our regrets about the past. When you're genuinely appreciating something, you're completely present with it. You're not thinking about what's missing or what went wrong yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. You're fully here, fully alive, fully connected to the flow of life that's happening right now. Another key aspect of aligning with miraculous energy is developing the practice of presence and awareness. This means paying attention to what's happening around you and within you throughout your day. So often we move through life on autopilot, missing the small signs and synchronicities that are constantly guiding us toward our highest good. When you're present and aware, you notice things differently. You might notice the way someone smiles at you in the grocery store just when you were feeling lonely. You might hear a conversation at the next table that gives you exactly the information you needed. You might see a beautiful bird or flower that lifts your spirits in a moment when you most needed encouragement. These aren't accidents. They're the universe communicating with you, but you have to be present to receive the messages. Being present also means paying attention to your own inner guidance. You have within you an incredible wisdom that knows what's right for you and what direction to move in. This inner knowing might come as a feeling in your body, a sudden insight, a sense of excitement about a particular path, or simply a knowing that feels true even if you can't explain why. When you're rushing through life or constantly distracted, it's hard to hear this inner voice. But when you create moments of stillness and presence, you can access this guidance more easily. You can begin to cultivate this alignment right now through very simple daily practices. Each morning, when you wake up, before you get out of bed, take a moment to appreciate something about your life. It could be as simple as being grateful for a good night's sleep or for having another day to experience life. Set an intention to be open to receiving good things throughout your day. During your day, practice what I call miracle moments. These are just brief pauses where you stop whatever you're doing and really notice what's around you. Feel your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. Look for something beautiful, even if it's just the way light is falling across a wall. Say thank you in your heart for something you might normally take for granted. In the evening, reflect on your day and identify at least 3 things you appreciated or felt grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Often, it's the small moments of beauty, kindness, or joy that are the most meaningful. As you do this, you're training your attention to focus on abundance rather than lack, on what's working rather than what's wrong. The more you practice aligning with miraculous energy, the more natural it becomes. Your default setting shifts from worry and lack to appreciation and abundance. You begin to expect good things to happen, and when you expect good things with a genuine feeling of trust and openness, good things have a way of showing up. Now let's explore the beautiful difference between heart-centered receiving and mind-based wanting, because understanding this difference will open doors in your life that you may not have even known existed. When we want something from our minds alone, we're usually focused on getting something outside ourselves to make us feel better inside. We think that if we just had more money, or the perfect relationship, or the ideal job, or the house we've been dreaming about, then we would finally feel happy, secure, worthy, or complete. But when we receive from our hearts, we're coming from a place that already feels whole and worthy. We're not trying to fill a hole inside ourselves with external things. Instead, we're allowing the natural flow of abundance to move through our lives because we recognize that we're already connected to the source of all good things. This shift from wanting to receiving changes everything about how we experience life and how life responds to us. Heart-centered receiving recognizes that what we're truly seeking isn't the thing itself, but the feeling we believe having that thing will give us. If you want more money, what you're really seeking might be the feeling of security, freedom, or the ability to help others. If you want a loving relationship, what you're really seeking is the feeling of being cherished, understood, and connected. If you want better health, what you're really seeking is vitality, energy, and the ability to fully engage with life. When we understand this, we can begin to cultivate those feelings now, regardless of our external circumstances. We can choose to feel secure by appreciating the ways we're already being taken care of. We can feel loved by opening our hearts to receive the love that's already present in our lives. We can feel vital by taking good care of our bodies and appreciating all the amazing things they do for us every day. The beautiful paradox is that when we already feel the essence of what we're seeking, we naturally attract the external forms that match those feelings. When you feel genuinely prosperous and grateful for what you have, opportunities for greater prosperity tend to appear. When you feel loving and lovable, loving relationships are drawn to you. When you feel healthy and vital, your body responds by supporting that energy. Heart-centered receiving also involves trusting in divine timing rather than trying to control when and how things manifest in your life. Your mind might have very specific ideas about how your good should come to you and exactly when it should arrive. But the universe often has plans that are far more beautiful and perfect than anything your mind could have imagined. Maybe you've been trying to force a particular relationship to work, but the universe has someone even more wonderful waiting to meet you. Maybe you've been struggling to make a certain job opportunity happen, but there's a path opening up that would be far more fulfilling and abundant. Maybe you've been worried about a specific problem, but the solution that's coming will not only resolve that issue, but improve your life in ways you never expected. This trust in divine timing doesn't mean you become passive and stop taking action. It means you take inspired action from a place of trust rather than desperate action from a place of fear. You follow your inner guidance and move toward what feels good and right for you, but you hold your plans lightly, staying open to even better possibilities. When you're receiving from your heart, you also let go of attachment to how your miracles should look. Your mind might have a very specific picture of what success looks like, or what love should look like, or what abundance should look like. But miracles often come in packages we don't recognize at first. The job that seems like a step backward might open doors to opportunities you never could have imagined. The relationship that ends might free you to meet your true life partner. The challenge that seems like a setback might be redirecting you towards something far better aligned with who you're becoming. To open your heart to receiving right now, place your hand on your heart and take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each breath, imagine your heart expanding and becoming more open. Now think of something you've been wanting in your life. Instead of focusing on the external form of what you want, tune into the feeling you believe having this would give you. Feel that feeling in your heart right now. Let yourself imagine that this feeling is already yours, that it's growing stronger with each breath. Now say these words to yourself. I am open to receiving my good in ways that are perfect for me. I trust that what's meant for me is already on its way. I am worthy of miracles, and I receive them with gratitude and joy. Feel these words not just in your mind, but in your heart. Let them settle into every cell of your body. As you practice this heart-centered approach to receiving, you'll notice that your relationship with your desires begins to change. Instead of feeling desperate or anxious about getting what you want, you'll feel more peaceful and trusting. Instead of feeling like you have to make things happen through sheer force of will, you'll feel guided and supported. Instead of feeling like good things only happen to other people, you'll begin to expect and recognize the miracles that are constantly flowing into your life. This heart-centered approach naturally leads us into creating practical daily practices that keep us ready and open for miracles to flow into our lives. Just as a gardener tends to their garden every day with small, loving actions, we can tend to our readiness to receive with simple practices that become as natural as breathing. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day, so creating a gentle morning practice can be one of the most powerful things you do to align yourself with miraculous possibilities. This doesn't have to be complicated or take a long time. Even 5 or 10 minutes of intentional morning practice can shift your whole day from ordinary to extraordinary. When you first wake up before you reach for your phone or start thinking about your to-do list, take a moment to simply appreciate the fact that you've been given another day of life. Feel the softness of your bed, notice the light coming through your window, listen to the sounds around you. This simple moment of presence and gratitude immediately aligns you with the abundance that's always present. You might then set a gentle intention for your day, not a rigid plan that has to unfold exactly as you imagine, but a loving intention like, today I am open to receiving unexpected blessings, or today I choose to see the good in every situation, or today I trust that everything is working out for my highest good. When you begin your day with this kind of positive expectation, you're much more likely to notice and receive the good things that are always trying to reach you. Some people find it helpful to spend a few minutes each morning visualizing their day going beautifully. See yourself moving through your day with ease and joy. Imagine interactions going smoothly, work flowing effortlessly, and pleasant surprises appearing along the way. This isn't about trying to control every detail, but about aligning your energy with positive possibilities and training your mind to expect good things. You might also choose to read something inspiring each morning, whether it's a few pages from a book that uplifts you, a daily meditation, or simply a beautiful quote that resonates with your heart. Feeding your mind and heart with positive, loving thoughts first thing in the morning is like planting seeds of possibility that can bloom throughout your day. During your day, practice staying aware and present so you can recognize miracles when they appear. Miracles rarely come with big neon signs announcing themselves. More often, they show up as small synchronicities, unexpected kindnesses, sudden insights, or opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. When you're rushing through life on autopilot, it's easy to miss these gifts. Create little moments throughout your day to pause and check in with yourself. When you're walking from one place to another, instead of being lost in thought or distracted by your phone, notice the world around you. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the sky, the trees, the faces of people you pass. This kind of presence keeps you connected to the flow of life where miracles naturally occur. Pay attention to your inner guidance throughout the day. If you feel drawn to take a different route home, follow that impulse. If you suddenly think of someone you haven't spoken to in a while, consider reaching out to them. If you feel inspired to try something new or to speak up in a meeting, trust that feeling. Your intuition is constantly guiding you toward people, places, and experiences that are for your highest good, but you have to be willing to listen and follow its gentle promptings. Practice looking for evidence of abundance and love everywhere you go. Notice acts of kindness between strangers. Appreciate the beauty in nature, even if it's just a single flower growing through a crack in the sidewalk. Acknowledge when things go smoothly, when people are helpful, when you find exactly what you need at exactly the right time. The more you train your attention to see the good that's already present, the more good you'll experience. Your evening practice is just as important as your morning routine. Before you go to sleep, spend a few minutes reflecting on your day with appreciation. What went well? What moments brought you joy? What evidence did you see of love, kindness, or abundance? Even on challenging days, there are always things to appreciate if you look for them. This evening reflection isn't about judging your day as good or bad, but about acknowledging the blessings that were present. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you had a delicious meal. Maybe you learned something new or solved a problem. Maybe you simply made it through a difficult day with grace. All of these things are worthy of appreciation and gratitude. You might also use your evening time to release any worries or concerns from the day. Imagine placing any problems or fears in a beautiful box and handing them over to the universe to handle while you sleep. Say something like, "I release the need to figure everything out right now. I trust that solutions are already on their way. I sleep peacefully knowing that I am loved and cared for." Creating physical space in your life for miracles is another important aspect of daily readiness. This might mean clearing clutter from your home so there's room for new energy to flow. It might mean organizing your schedule so you're not always rushing from one thing to the next, leaving space for spontaneous opportunities. It might mean keeping some flexibility in your plans so you can say yes when unexpected invitations or possibilities arise. Even if your life feels very full right now, you can create small pockets of space for miracles. Maybe it's leaving 10 minutes earlier for appointments so you're not stressed and rushing. Maybe it's keeping one evening a week free from planned activities. Maybe it's simply staying open to changing your plans when something better comes along. Remember that creating space for miracles also means being willing to let go of things that no longer serve you. This might be activities you've outgrown, relationships that drain your energy, commitments you made from obligation rather than joy, or possessions that clutter your space and your mind. As you gently release what no longer fits your life, you create room for things that are more aligned with who you're becoming. Even with all these beautiful practices and intentions, it's completely natural to experience moments of resistance and doubt along your journey. Please don't think that having doubts means you're doing something wrong or that you don't have enough faith. Doubt is a normal part of being human, especially when you're stretching beyond your familiar comfort zone and opening to new possibilities. Resistance often shows up when we're on the verge of a breakthrough. It's like our old patterns are trying to keep us safe by pulling us back to what feels familiar, even if what's familiar isn't serving us anymore. When you notice resistance arising, try to meet it with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment. Ask yourself gently, what is this resistance trying to protect me from? What old fear or belief might be underneath this feeling? Sometimes resistance shows up as a voice in your head that says things like, "This is too good to be true," or "People like me don't get to have nice things." or I'm being silly and unrealistic. When you hear these voices, remember that they're not the truth about who you are or what's possible for you. They're just old programming that was meant to keep you safe but may now be keeping you small. You can respond to these doubting voices with gentle kindness, the way you might speak to a frightened child. You might say something like, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm safe to receive good things now. I'm worthy of love and abundance, and it's safe for me to open my heart to miracles." Doubt also often arises when we compare our inner experience to what we imagine other people are experiencing. You might look at someone else who seems to have everything together and think, they must never doubt themselves like I do. But everyone experiences doubt and fear sometimes. The difference is that some people have learned to move forward gently in spite of their doubts, rather than waiting for the doubts to disappear completely. You don't have to feel completely confident and fearless to receive miracles. You just have to be willing to stay open and take small steps forward, even when you're not entirely sure of the outcome. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and choosing love anyway. Courage is doubting yourself but still believing that good things are possible for you. When doubt arises, it can be helpful to remember times in your life when things worked out better than you expected. Remember moments when you took a chance and it led to something wonderful. Remember times when what seemed like a problem actually led to an opportunity. Remember evidence from your own life that you are supported and loved by the universe, even when you can't see the whole picture. It's also important to be patient with yourself during this process of opening to receive. Transformation doesn't usually happen overnight. It's more like the way a flower blooms, slowly and naturally, one petal at a time. Some days you'll feel very open and aligned. Other days you might feel stuck or confused. Both experiences are part of the journey, and both are perfectly okay. If you notice that you're being very hard on yourself or expecting too much too quickly, take a moment to offer yourself the same kindness you would give to a dear friend who is learning something new. Growth takes time, and every small step matters, even when it doesn't feel like you're moving fast enough. Remember, too, that resistance often appears strongest right before a breakthrough. If you're feeling more doubt or fear than usual, it might actually be a sign that you're very close to receiving something wonderful. Stay gentle with yourself, keep your heart open as much as you can, and trust that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. As you continue to practice these ways of being and thinking, something beautiful begins to happen. You start to naturally embody the energy of someone who regularly receives miracles. This isn't about pretending or putting on an act. It's about genuinely becoming someone whose thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned with abundance, love, and possibility. When you embody miracle energy, people notice something different about you, even if they can't quite put their finger on what it is. You might seem more peaceful, more confident, more joyful. You might seem like someone who expects good things to happen and who handles challenges with grace and trust. This energy is magnetic, and it draws people and opportunities toward you in the most natural way. Living as a miracle magnet means approaching each day with a sense of wonder and anticipation. Instead of just going through the motions of your daily routine, you wake up curious about what beautiful surprises might be waiting for you. You engage with people and situations with an open heart, knowing that any interaction might be the doorway to something wonderful. This doesn't mean you become naive or unrealistic about life's challenges. It means you develop an unshakable knowing that even in difficult times, love and support are available to you. You begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth and redirection rather than evidence that life is working against you. You trust that everything that comes into your life, even the difficult things, contains within it the seeds of your expansion and evolution. When you're living as a miracle magnet, you also become someone who celebrates and supports the success and happiness of others. You understand that the universe is abundant enough for everyone to thrive, so when you see others receiving beautiful things, you feel genuinely happy for them. This celebration of others' good fortune actually multiplies your own ability to receive because you're aligning yourself with the energy of abundance rather than the energy of competition or lack. You also become someone who shares your own miraculous energy with others through your words, your actions, and your presence. You might find yourself offering encouragement to someone who's going through a difficult time. You might find ways to be generous with your time, your attention, or your resources. You might simply radiate such peace and joy that others feel better just from being around you. This sharing of your energy isn't something you have to think about or force. It happens naturally when your heart is full and your life is flowing with abundance. The more you receive, the more you naturally want to give. The more love flows through your life, the more love you have to offer others. This creates a beautiful cycle where giving and receiving become one continuous flow. Living as a miracle magnet also means maintaining your faith and positive expectation, even during times when miracles aren't obvious or visible. There will be periods when life feels more ordinary, when the challenges seem bigger than the blessings, when you might wonder if you've somehow lost your connection to the miraculous flow. During these times, it's especially important to remember that miracles often work behind the scenes before they become visible in your life. Think of it like planting a garden. After you plant the seeds, there's a period when nothing seems to be happening above ground. But beneath the surface, roots are growing, nutrients are being absorbed, and all the conditions for growth are being established. The fact that you can't see the growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Your miracles might be growing in invisible ways right now, preparing to emerge at exactly the perfect time. During these quieter periods, continue your daily practices of gratitude, presence, and openness. Continue to treat yourself with love and kindness. Continue to expect good things while remaining patient with the timing. Continue to be the kind of person who naturally attracts miracles through your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Remember, too, that being a miracle magnet doesn't mean your life becomes perfect or free from all challenges. It means you develop such trust in your ability to handle whatever comes, and such faith in the ultimate goodness of life that challenges no longer shake your fundamental sense of peace and security. You know that you're always being guided, always being supported, and always being loved, regardless of what's happening on the surface of your life. As we come toward the end of our time together, I want you to feel deeply in your heart the truth of who you really are. You are not someone who has to beg the universe for scraps of goodness. You are not someone who has to prove your worthiness through struggle and sacrifice. You are not someone who has to settle for less than your heart truly desires. You are a magnificent being of light and love who came into this world to experience joy, abundance, beauty, and connection. You are someone who was created to thrive, to grow, to give and receive love freely, and yes, to experience miracles as naturally as you breathe. The challenges you've faced, the mistakes you've made, the times you felt lost or afraid, none of these things have diminished your worthiness or your capacity to receive all the good that life has to offer. Right now, in this very moment, there are miracles that are already on their way to you. Some of them might arrive today. Some might unfold over the coming weeks and months. Some might be so subtle that you'll only recognize them as miracles when you look back and see how perfectly everything worked together for your highest good. Your job isn't to figure out how these miracles will come or to force them to arrive according to your timeline. Your job is simply to stay open, to keep your heart as receptive as you can, and to trust that the same love that beats your heart and grows, the flowers knows exactly how to bring you everything that's meant for you. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you practice gratitude instead of complaint, every time you offer kindness to yourself or another person, every time you trust instead of worry, you're creating the perfect conditions for miracles to flourish in your life. The universe is always conspiring in your favor, always working to bring you experiences that will help you grow into the fullest expression of who you came here to be. Even when you can't see how things will work out, even when the path forward isn't clear, you can trust that you're being guided with infinite love and wisdom. I want you to carry with you the knowing that you deserve miracles, not because you've earned them through being perfect, but because love is your very essence and miracles are love in action. You deserve them because you exist. You deserve them because you are a precious part of the grand tapestry of life. You deserve them because the universe delights in your happiness and expansion. As you go forward from this moment, remember to be gentle with yourself. Remember to celebrate the small miracles as well as the big ones. Remember that your worthiness doesn't depend on anything outside yourself. Remember that love is always available to you. Abundance is your natural state, and miracles are not the exception in your life, but the rule. Take with you this final knowing that resonates from the deepest part of my heart to yours. You are loved beyond measure. You are supported in ways you may never fully understand. You are worthy of every beautiful thing your heart desires. And yes, miracles will happen in your life because you are ready to receive them now. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your beautiful life. Trust in the love that surrounds you always. Trust in your own magnificent heart that knows how to receive all the good that's flowing towards you right now. This is your time to receive, dear one. This is your time for miracles.